Yeah, absolutely. Appreciate you guys having me. It's been great to work with the Jadu team thus far, and I'm excited to talk to the U.S. clients today. So, like John said, I'm Jared. I am from Cludo, and I'm just going to kind of. I've only got 10 minutes today, so I'm not going to be able to tell you everything in the world that I know about site search, but at least want to touch on some points of why it's important and specifically why it's important for the folks in higher education, because it means a little bit different depending on what type of an organization you're for. And then I do want to show you some resources that they're on Cludo's website, but they are non-biased, just kind of giving you an idea of some things to think about when evaluating what's important for your search options out there. And then we're not really going to get into the product today. I just want to talk about what it means, what search data provides, and then if there are any folks that do want to see more of a one-on-one live product demo when we've got more time, certainly reach out to John, and we'll be happy to facilitate that, because that usually is an hour to an hour and a half conversation. So I'm Jared Mueller, partner account manager, which means I work with all of our fantastic partners, and Jadu is one of them. We are a global company, so our headquarters are technically in Denmark and Copenhagen, but our U.S. office is here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is where I'm headquartered. What we are, site search is it's really the tip of the spear. Having a good working or a not so good working search tool can have a very big impact on people's experience on your website. But as part of the iceberg that's below the water, we believe that the data provided from search and what you can do with that data is really where the true value lies with our customers. So like I said before, we are a global company. We do have over 800 clients. We haven't been in business too long, but have been fortunate enough to have the success we've had so far. And like John said, Google actually did have some good products, and they were very, very cheap and provided quite a bit of functionality. So when they exited the market, it left a pretty big void. So that and coupling that with people understanding more and more what the value of search can be has really been a boom in our business. So just a couple of things to talk about. Like I said before, search is really just the tip of the spear, and whether or not you have a properly functioning or not properly functioning tool will have a direct impact on your clients, and they're ultimately the people that are visiting their website. This number is actually a little bit outdated. It's getting much closer to 1 and 2 versus 1 and 3. I had our data science team pull specific numbers from some of our higher ed clients over the last year that I'm going to share later on in this, that are pretty cool and tell a pretty good story. But people that are coming to your website, these are people that are very, very objectively focused. They're looking for something very, very specific. So, you've got one website visitor that's coming there, and they're going to use the navigation bar, and that's really important to have that structured properly. There's really good CMS platforms out there like Jadu where you can do that. But for the people that are using website search, more often than not, they're looking for something very, very specifically. I was just talking to John about the fact that I just booked my first tea time for this coming weekend in Minnesota for the year, which is fun. But just the other day, I was looking for a new sand wedge online for my golf game. I went to the manufacturer's website because that's who makes it, and I tried to do a web search for it, and the results were not what I was expecting. I could not find the club, and I had to navigate through the actual navigation tree, which took me much longer. Because I work for a company that sells a SaaS product that is a search tool, I know what those frustrations can be. And I was patient enough to stick around and use their actual website to find it. Most people, what they're going to do, and think of yourself going to buy something online. If you don't find what you're looking for, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to leave, you're going to go to Google, and you're going to find the first option that pops up and go buy it from there. So whether you're a company that's physically selling a product, a nonprofit organization, a university that's trying to get students to enroll there or to donate to your university, if I can't find that information, it's a very frustrating situation for me. And my first initial reaction is going to be to leave and go do it from something else, or go find it from somewhere else. I'm just going to back out of this presentation real quick and show you a couple of quick live examples. So this is actually one of our customers, the University of Virginia. So as I'm not an alumni, I went to a different college, but let's say I wanted to give back to the university. As you can see here, their search results, the first thing that pops up are people that have the name give in their name, which is cool. So you can find faculty and staff. But as you look down below where the actual results are, you can see the first option that pops up is where to give. That should be the first option because it's such a big university. You can figure out, do I want to give to the specific neuroscience? Do I want to give to a specific school? Do I want to make a general donation? We would consider these results very, very relevant. And that's why people think that just because they have a search tool, that's good enough. But if you don't understand whether or not your visitors are ultimately finding what they're looking for, that can be a very, very frustrating web experience. And especially if you don't have control over those results. I actually grew up in a modest sized town in central Minnesota, just a couple hours north of the Twin Cities. This is not a client of ours. As you can see, they use Google Custom Search. This was the community college where I'm from. So I just did a brief search of their website, and I'm searching for the exact same thing. So I want to give to this university. The first option that pops up is a web article back from 2015, and the second option that pops up is a web article from 2012, and so on and so forth. And you can see that the results down below are not relevant at all, and nowhere on this page does it tell me where I can give. And there you even see one that has a scholarship. Well, I'm not looking for a scholarship. I want to donate. So for me as a website visitor, that's very, very frustrating. And what we found through our data is that over 75 people that use the search tool will not look past the third option. So you as the end user, as the organization who's in charge of the website, you may not even know that your search is not functioning. So there's tools out there like Cludo's that not only will give you control to fix these things, but also provide that data back to you and say, hey, you know what? I as an end user searched give. I didn't find any information on it. That's a problem. That means that I'm looking for something very specific. I couldn't find it. I had a bad experience. And the next thing I'm going to do is take my charitable donation and give somewhere else. So, whether or not you have a search tool, if it's functioning, cool. If it's not, that's a problem. But do you have the means to get that data ultimately back to you so that you can ultimately take action on that? So that's why we say that the search component of it is the tip of the spear. It's really what people are looking for and whether or not they're finding it on your website. And that's why we like to position ourselves as being able to take that data, that analytics, and that can really drive your overall content strategy. So the people that are in charge of the website, the people that are in charge of the content, the marketing folks, they put tons and tons of hours into coming up with relevant content. But at the end of the day, we always ask our clients, do you have a way to validate whether or not that content is great, whether or not it's working? Are there gaps in that content? Are people able to find that content? So if you look on the left side of the screen here, a standard site search tool is just that. It's a mechanism for delivering the content. But if you don't ultimately know whether or not that content is being delivered, whether or not they're looking for something that you don't even have information on, that's where we believe in using Cludo to overall impact your entire web content strategy. So not only being able to deliver that content, but seeing what people are looking for, collecting that behavioral data, looking into the insights, and then ultimately figuring out, what are people searching for that we don't have information on? What are they searching for that they can't find? What are people searching for a lot that we didn't even know was that popular? And how do we better promote that information on our website? A lot of things that you can ask yourself to ultimately help out your marketing teams, your content teams, and your web development teams. So here's kind of the holy grail, the triangle of what we believe content marketing should be. Like, yes, your data is great from your content management system, the information that you're getting from Jadu. Yes, you're probably getting some sort of web analytics like Google Analytics or Adobe or Site Improve or something like that. But coupling those two with search, your visitors that are your most objective, people that are telling you in their own words exactly what they're looking for and whether or not they're finding it, really gives you a much more well-rounded view into whether or not you have the right content on your website and whether or not people are easily finding that content. So I said in the beginning, I know I've only got another minute or so here, so I do want to wrap this up. I had our data science team pull a few fun facts for us, and this is data that we retrieved from our clients over the last year. So 80% of end users will leave your website if they perceive the search quality or relevance to be poor or substandard. So I gave that example before. If I'm going to somebody's website, I'm looking to purchase a specific product. If I can't find it out there, the very first thing I'm going to do is leave. I'm going to go to Google. I'm going to Google the product I'm looking for, and I'm going to click on the first link that happens. People don't typically stay on your website and find it if you're not providing them a means to do so. So 50% of people visiting a start page on a website go straight to the internal search box in order to navigate. People don't want to click through and click through and click through and go through that navigation pane. They want the information that they're looking for, especially if they know what they're looking for. They want it right away, typing in a few buttons, hitting search, and they want that information to be populated. This last one's really cool because this one was the first two stats were specific for all of our clients. This last one was our higher education only clients, that from the beginning of 2018 to the end of 2018, they saw a 64% increase in the amount of visitors that were using their website search. So, we're really conditioned as human beings. It's the era of the smartphone, so you always have a computer in your pocket. First thing I do when I look up, when somebody asks me a trivia question or I want to find out information about a restaurant or anything like that, I'm going to Google and I'm searching for it. We're really being conditioned to do that as human beings. I do want to just show you a couple of quick resources, and then I'll turn it back over to the Jadu team. Like I said before, we do have some non-biased content on our website. We obviously have some biased content as well, but if you click on these links, and I'll provide this information to the Jadu team so that they can distribute afterwards. But if you click on these links, these top two are really kind of cool links. So the state of site search, that's kind of where things are at in 2019 and why it's important. So it gives a lot of great stats on who uses search, what happens if it doesn't go well, what happens if it does go well, and then also the ultimate site search buyer's guide. This is not promoting Cludo's product. This is just telling you what you should consider when looking for what search tools are right for your organization. So what goals are you trying to accomplish? How are you ultimately going to achieve those goals? And what are some things to think about when looking at what your best avenue is for your organization? That is all the time I have for today. I believe I've already went a minute over. Like I said, if you do want to see the actual product itself, we do love working with the Jadu CMS, and they have built a really nice integration into their tool. So if you do use that, that's awesome. But also if you possess some of Jadu's other products and don't use their CMS, just know that our 800 clients and change, we've encountered just about every content management system in the world, and some you haven't heard of. So we are a truly platform agnostic tool, and are happy to talk and learn more about some of the stuff you're struggling today, and what your goals are around that. So if you do want to learn more and want to set up some time one-on-one with myself and maybe one of our solutions engineers, just reach out to the Jadu team, and they will be happy to facilitate.